Okay, welcome everybody. Kenya, Teresa, Angela, other people will be jumping on. Just remind me to mute them as they come on and they're noisy. Welcome. Today we're going to talk about a really interesting topic, something that I have not dived into in years. I've been doing doTERRA almost 5 years now, and this is really the first time that I've talked about emotions. I went through a couple of the emotional class guides that I have. Share Success has one, and then I got one from another group. I don't know, I picked it up from Oil Life, and going through them this last weekend, they're not that great. They don't really dive into anything, which is probably why I got the Share Success emotion guides for like half off, because I didn't even bring it up here. It was completely useless. So I dove into my books to go through and figure out different things regarding emotions. So first of all, I want to say that this is going to be a really simple summary about essential oils and emotions. We aren't diving deep into brain chemistry. Personally, I'm not there yet. And we're not going to be talking about specific ailments because I want to keep this as compliant as possible because we do record it. But I'm going to give you some really good information about, and it'll be more like an intro to essential oils. Let me meet Brenda. Who else is unmuted? iPhone mute. I believe that's Estella. Okay. So I gleaned my information from the books that we use all the time, Emotions and Essential Oils. This is the updated version. Really hard to find this. I only have one. Amar found it for me at convention and wouldn't tell me where to get any more. And then this one, which I normally do not use this book all the time, but I found it really helpful for this particular topic. There is a lot of good information in here. And I don't give this book enough credit. I'm really impressed with it for this particular topic. It's really, really good. Okay, so it took me a really long time to dive into the emotional side. My mind is more black and white. I have a business degree, so I don't get too hot and heavy over emotions. I tend to ignore my own emotions a lot of times because I wouldn't have been able to function for the last, 10 years being a single mom. So I think with us in oils, we spend about 1 to 3 years learning about essential oils, how they work in our body, what oils are good for physical ailments, and how our body can react to oils. So I think at this level, like right now we're about junior, senior in college level, talking about oils and emotions. Because it's a really deep topic, in my opinion, and there is science involved. And so I think it's always really important to have a foundation of oils, of essential oils, know where they come from, know what they're good for, know how they treat physical ailments before you dive into the emotions, because you need that foundation. So if you're new, if this topic's brand new to you, totally okay. Keep going at the pace that you're at, totally fine, because our oil journey is a lifelong pursuit of education. I just sat in on the call where she was talking about the chemistry of oils, and I was actually interested. So I'm going to post that call later today on Essential Bliss because it's a really good topic and a lot of interesting stuff that I just kind of have plugged my ears for years because I wasn't ready. The reason why emotions and oils are at the top of my list right now is because of all the numerous interactions that I have with people from all over that are seriously struggling these days. I travel around the country with my little Zyto compass, and many of you have been scanned. And after scanning hundreds of people, we always turn to the emotion and oils book first. And I explain it to each and every person that I talk to that usually with women, we're stuffing our emotions. We have to deal with getting kids up and ready, dealing with school, taking them back and forth to their activities. We have to take care of a household. Like everything else comes before us and our emotions. So when I run the Zyto, usually emotions are what come up first. All right. So, foundation on moods and disorders. Mood disorders and challenges are becoming more prevalent in Western, more industrialized countries, and there's a myriad of reasons why this is happening. And I think that you'll notice as you were a kid that maybe you didn't know as many people that were struggling, or maybe you just weren't paying attention. But personally, I pay attention to stuff, and I didn't know as many people as I do now that are really struggling with some profound emotional issues. So one of the reasons that scientists and researchers are determining why we're becoming a lot more emotionally imbalanced is because of our reliance on technology. Humans are not spending time with one another like they were in the past. And I know that many, like I go to the grocery store and I see a 2-year-old with a little phone in her hand watching cartoons, and it's constant. I see preteens sitting at a dinner table with their family out in restaurants, and they're on their phones texting their friends. My own kids, like my son Imran, we're having to take the phone away from him because he's constantly just glued to that thing. Nanny, the same thing. He's watching videos all the time. But if we're not physically taking the phones and the devices out of our kids' hand, they're not learning how to communicate with one another. They're not learning how to interact with one another. And that human interaction and connection is so vital. It's prehistoric. We are wired to be with humans. And I think in this day and age, people are totally disconnected, and that creates other deficiencies that are going on that are unseen. We can't see them, but they're coming out and manifesting in stress, in emotional imbalance. So you really have to monitor with your kids, but you really have to monitor with yourself. I know I spend a lot of time on my phone. I know it's unhealthy. So that's one of the leading causes that researchers have discovered of why humans are suffering so much from emotional imbalance and disorders. Diet is another contributing factor to emotional imbalance. Scientists have discovered that there's more neurotransmitters in your gut than in your brain. When our diets are high in processed foods and refined sugars, those neurotransmitters in the gut can't relay messages very well when they're deprived of nutrients and adequate nutrition. Cells depleted of nutrition can directly impact our food. So it's saying that basically we have a lot more guys that talk to each other in our gut and help to relay messages to our body. But if we're not feeding those neurotransmitters, then they're not able to pass along the information. And so things get missed. The limbic system in the brain is something else. That has glands that help relay and respond to emotions. Those glands include the amygdala, the hippocampus, the hypothalamus, and the thalamus. The hippocampus is involved in storing memories and producing emotions. When an individual experiences stress, the blood flow around the hippocampus changes. It actually decreases. Over a long period of time of constant stress, that blood flow can cause up to a 20% loss in nerve connection, which reduces memory. So that's why you'll see in older people, they become more forgetful, because if they're under chronic stress for a long period of time, their memory is reducing by 20%. And that can also affect your mood. My stepfather, he's 80 something. He's just now starting to lose his memory, and it's really aggravating for him when he can't recall certain words or he can't remember events. And we kind of just keep it simple and light and have fun with him and just remind him. Then imagine like 50 and 60-year-olds that are undergoing constant stress and they're starting to forget their memory. It becomes really traumatic for a lot of people. The hypothalamus is the control center and the command center of the brain. It converts mental thought and emotions into hundreds of different ligands, specifically neuropeptides. So the only thing you need to know about that is that emotions trigger cell activity. The amygdala is the storehouse of trauma and contains the densest concentration of neuropeptides affecting cellular memory. Smell is our most primal sense. It exerts a powerful influence over our thoughts, emotions, moods, memories, and behavior. And smell is the primary sense that unconsciously activates and affects traumatic memories. Acting like a watchdog, the amygdala is constantly on the look for danger. That's its job. It's looking for danger because it's trying to protect us. But it's in such a primitive part of our brain, it hasn't evolved, that it can't really distinguish between whether we're being chased by saber-toothed cats or whether we've just missed the bus and we're going to be late for work. It can't distinguish between the two. So it sends out the stress hormones regardless of what's happening, whether we're in detrimental, like death, or situations, or if we're just simply stressed because we have a paper due or we have a call that happens. The stress hormones get sent out the same way. There's no distinguishing it. So the flight or fight stressors are identical. The bottom line is emotional stress can be triggered and it releases stress hormones like cortisol. We all know that many physical illnesses are the result of chronic physical stress caused by emotional inflammatory responses to trauma or negative experiences. Constant and continual stress releases cortisol or adrenaline, which can lead to chronic inflammation. So, what can you do about it? Well, you can watch what you eat. You can be really, really mindful about what you put into your body. You can watch what you put in your mouth because it has a direct impact on our emotions. Nutritional deficiencies can affect your mood. So if you struggle with dairy, if you struggle with gluten, you need to be careful because food sensitivities can also trigger moods and make us more prone to sadness or prone to anger or prone to stress, make us angry, frustrated. Blood sugar imbalances, you need to know, you need to be careful with your blood sugar. Substance abuse, of course, can trigger different emotions in our body. And then stimulants like caffeine or other stimulants. They, like a Red Bull or other things that aren't legal, they can also affect our mood. All affect your biochemistry and contribute to mood changes. However, food additives are that special little subject that you really need to watch out for. High fructose corn syrup, trans fats, artificial colors, flavors, and sweeteners all affect our brain chemistry. MSG especially. MSG is one of those things, like my mother-in-law taught me to cook with this product called Vegeta. Vegeta is pure MSG, and I didn't know it was a neurotoxin when she was teaching me how to cook, but that's one of those spices that I've had to eliminate. I think a lot of people, if they don't know MSG is in a product and they're feeling migraines, they don't maybe know that there's a connection there with what we eat and physical ailments and symptoms. I didn't know that. I know that gluten causes me to have headaches, so I have to be really careful with how much gluten I consume because I can get really lethargic and headache prone. Where can you go? Okay, pay attention to how you feel once you've consumed any of the chemicals above, and pay attention to your body. Now, this isn't a be-all, end-all. I was talking with my sister yesterday. She was on our call, and then she and I talked for a little bit afterwards. She struggles with sadness, like profound sadness, and she has a great life, and she's learned to manage that sadness, but that's been going on since she was maybe 13 or 14 years old. She struggled. She ended up in the hospital for a while because she really struggled with this sadness that she can't shake. She's eating right. She knows she can manage her sadness by exercising. She watches what she eats. She supplements. She does everything she's supposed to do. She uses oils too. She talked about frankincense a little bit yesterday on our call and why she uses frankincense. But we were trying to figure out, why does the sadness persist? And it comes in waves. A lot of people that struggle with profound sadness, it comes in waves. She refuses to use medication because it just has not done good things to her body. So she wants to figure out a way to do it naturally. And so I suggested maybe she cut out gluten because I've heard that gluten can also, it could be hormonal, but it's been going on she's 38 now. So it's been going on for 25 years. And it's a seasonal kind of thing. It's an ebb and a flow. So gluten was what I suggested maybe she try to cut out because she does eat a lot of bread. And I've heard that gluten can trigger those reactions in your body. So what you can do is eat whole live food, cut out the processed and refined sugar. And I know it's easier said than done. I love a donut once in a while. It's my thing. I love cupcakes once in a while. You know, we all have our thing. I'm not eating them every day, but it's okay just on a daily, because really it's every day what we do. It's the little things that add up to create massive impacts in our lives. So every single day, watch what you're eating and putting into your mouth. Supplement, use the Lifelong Vitality. The Microplex, where is that guy? This guy. If your body is not absorbing all the nutrition from your food like it should, and much of our food is depleted of nutrition, this is your whole food nutrition. You should be taking this every single day. This is part of the Lifelong Vitality. Stress can cause chronic inflammation. This guy helps to combat inflammation. So you need to be taking this every day. And then to support your brain health, you need to be taking the essential fatty acids, the fish oils for heart and brain health. So just these three alone can really do wonders for you. But in addition to that, I think DDR Prime is really one of those oils, and you can take them in capsule. That's what I do because it doesn't taste great. That's a really great way to support your health and your cells. Zendocrine is another really great supplement that I take every day, but it helps to clear out your filtering systems, your liver, your kidneys, your lungs. And then do a quarterly cleanse just to kill off all the yucky bacteria in your gut. Do the GX Assist for 10 days and follow up with the PD Assist. Support your gut health as much as you can, because you have to know that like your gut, a clean gut contributes to a clean, healthy mind for good, like positive emotions. So you're not struggling with moods, you're not having challenges. It starts in your gut. And then, of course, use the oils. And I purposely put oils as third, because really we have to get a foundation of health before we start with the oils. If you're struggling with any kind of emotional imbalances, you've got to get a foundation of health going on first. You got to clean up your gut first. When I was a kid, my mom would buy Twinkies and Ho-Hos, and they would sit. I would eat them. So I know I've got like stuff floating around that doesn't belong there, and so I do the cleanse. I occasionally eat out. I have a donut. So I know quarterly I need to do a cleanse, and I do that. I do one pill, one GX Assist a day for 10 days, and I do it at night because in the past it was recommended that you do 3 a day, and that would like burn my stomach because I drink coffee and the acids in the coffee have kind of like worn down the lining of my stomach, and it gets very acidic and it burns. So I do one at night so that I don't feel it. I don't feel any kind of burn. And most people, they don't feel anything when they take it. So some oils you can use for specific ailments. If you're feeling overwhelmed, Aroma Touch is a good oil blend to use. Citrus Bliss, the invigorating blend. Elevation, the joyful blend. In Tune, the focus blend. And Past Tense is the, somebody tell me, I don't know, the stress blend. I like Past Tense on my neck and on my shoulders because that's where a lot of us hold our stress. You know, especially if we're sitting at a desk all day or we're dealing with whatever, this gets really painful. Just roll on Past Tense and that stress will kind of melt away. If you're feeling stressed, Wild Orange, where did I put it? I put it on before I got here. Lemongrass, Basil, the tension blend. Thank you, Kenya. Basil's one of those oils that we don't talk a whole lot about, but it's good for so many different things. I use it around here for focus and clarity. It really helps me like zero in on what I'm doing. Lemon is another one for stress. So you'll notice like a lot of citrus oils are good for stress. Citrus Bliss, if that's what you love and what works for you. If you're feeling fearful or worried, Serenity, Balance, On Guard, Black Pepper, Bergamot. And I list like 5 or 6 here in all of the categories because something may work for Kenya that doesn't work for Brenda. So I want you to try them out and see what works for you. If you're feeling sad, Citrus Bliss, Breathe, Breathe. I wouldn't think that for sadness. Serenity, cardamom, frankincense, grapefruit, feeling tired, lemon, bergamot, wild orange, peppermint, frankincense, elevation. I love, personally, when I'm tired, I like 1 drop of peppermint, because this bad boy is strong, and 2 drops of frankincense in my hand, and you huff it, because that will wake you right up. It opens up your airwaves, clears your mind, you got more clarity, more focus. I do that on the road. If I'm doing a road trip, it's really great to wake me up and get clear. Okay, if you're feeling frustrated, lemongrass, rosemary, wintergreen, ylang ylang. And if you're angry, I did mention I was a single mom. I've been a single mom for a really long time. Helichrysum is my #1 for anger. And I was surprised I found this in the book, because this is just one that I threw it on my head one day. I didn't know what it would do. But I take a drop of helichrysum, put it right on my forehead, and it kind of just cools me down and calms me down. Raising 4 boys has not been the easiest. Most of the time it's always fun. Sometimes it's kind of stressful. Because they're all different personalities. They're all wild sometimes. And so helichrysum has been my lifesaver for anger. Bergamot, really good. Thyme and spearmint. And spearmint is also one of those oils that has a lot of different properties that can help in a multitude of areas. I believe it's the oil of clear communication, I believe. Let me see. One of those I'm always wanting and needing. Oh, confident speech. The oil of confident speech. In addition to helping with anger. Okay, so that is it. Told you it was going to be short and sweet. I'm going to unmute everybody. So Brenda says MSG causes her migraines. Also, sweeteners can cause severe problems. Yes, sweet and low is trash. We don't even use it around here. Let's see what else. Okay, yeah.
They found out NutraSweet when they first started having problems with it. Pilots were getting really bad migraines and really bad problems, and they found out that in their coffee they were using the NutraSweet, and so they've told the pilots not to use that anymore. So NutraSweet's really bad. I use stevia, which is natural.
Natural, yeah. There's so many natural alternatives to sugar that there's no reason to take sweet and low or what is it? Nutria? I don't know. NutraSweet. Yep. Angela, my son's Zyto reading was console, spearmint, and coriander, all emotional supporting oils. I think, yeah, for most men too, emotions, like the Zyto readings are all about emotions too. Console, huh? Omar got console on his last reading. And coriander has been coming up all the time. I read about it yesterday. Let's see. And oil integrity. Yeah, the Zyto is pretty awesome.
Okay. What is coriander the oil of?
It's the oil of integrity. Integrity with oneself.
Okay, thank you.
It's about like neglecting your own needs and always serving others. And so it helps you to support. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm busy with my disabled son. Yeah. I can see where that, because the first Zyto scan that Robin did for me came up coriander.
Mm-hmm. That totally makes sense. Do you want me to send you a picture of it?
Lovely. Yes, please.
I'll post it on our page so you can read it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, any questions? No, we're good? I need to Zyto. Yeah, I know. We all do. Well,
apologize about dropping off. I had somebody pick up an order, so she just got here just as I was checking in.
Don't worry about it, Brenda. Okay, if nobody has any questions over, okay, I'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
All right, take care. That was a short one.
Bye.
Bye.